Hello, I'm Alexandra Reilly, Vice President and Agency Principal at BANKTASTIC, where we help financial brands build love and loyalty. Today I want to talk about financial stress and financial trauma. Bankers, your customers are stressed out. They are stressed about money, the economy, and inflation. The latest study by the American Psychology Association, Stress in America, which was completed in February of 2022, showed that more than 87% of Americans are stressed out about inflation. And inflation has done nothing but skyrocket since February. And moreover, adults 18 to 44 showed much higher signs of financial stress and concern than older Americans. Now, what do we mean by financial trauma? Well, trauma is an emotional response to a triggering event. So financial trauma is a response to an event or a series of events around money. Financial trauma is estimated to affect about 25% of Americans, and it's even higher among millennials, about 36%. We recently asked our National Millennial Advisory Board about their financial stress and any financial trauma they may have experienced. And their responses were really quite in line with this other study. And they told us about what kinds of behaviors that they exhibit when they are under stress and how they react to that financially. And it was a whole spectrum of behaviors, unhealthy behaviors, such as hoarding, overspending, impulse buying, binge spending, underspending, even if they can afford to buy something, guilt around any kind of spending that they do, and workaholism. They told us some really interesting things. I'm going to look at some of their quotes here. One said, "My mother always acted based on fear, which makes me make fear-based decisions and feel like no amount of savings is ever enough." And another said, "When I'm depressed, I spend more to make myself feel better." It makes them anxious. It causes stress in their personal relationships, whether they have financial hardships or not. And for others, it sends them spiraling even deeper into debt. So what's a banker to do about this? You can't treat their financial trauma. This can only be treated by a licensed professional or a therapist, but you do have a role. First of all, you should be providing the financial education that helps them make healthier decisions. And this just can't be overstated. We have done other videos on the subject of financial education. We have a lot of content on our website where we talk about the importance of financial education and how much, especially millennials, want this kind of information. So you really can't overdo it on this subject. But you also have to have the right product mix, and that's just kind of table stakes for being competitive in this market. So what more can you do in this area of financial stress and financial trauma? Well, you can talk about it. Talking about stress and trauma is part of helping to remove the stigma around it. When you talk about it, you're shining a light on the subject, then people don't feel quite so alone in what they're experiencing, and they realize, wow, this is really far more pervasive than I first thought. I thought I was the only one that felt this way. Here are a few ways that you can do this. First of all, you can create or curate content around financial wellness and financial stress and trauma. For example, on your website, in your social media for sure, also in your email communications and the other ways that you communicate with your customers. Your series could include both on the wellness side and on the trauma or stress side. For example, you could do something about fear and guilt. Just thinking back on what one of our Millennial Advisory Board members said. They told us, growing up, we did not have much money. We lived paycheck to paycheck and never had much left for anything besides the basics. This has definitely made it more difficult to spend money on things like vacations or splurges, since I always have a fear of not being able to pay my bills. So fear, guilt, those are common emotions associated with money, both when people have a scarcity mindset and they need to move to more of an abundance mindset. You could do a whole series just on that. Another example would be you could do a forum and have a panel of experts. It could include some of your bankers that talk about lending and credit, but it could also include a licensed therapist who has experience working with people who are dealing with financial trauma. It could include a financial planner who talks about another aspect of financial health, such as saving for retirement. And this gives you kind of a full-fledged 360 view that covers both the stress and moves people more to a wellness mindset. You could also bring programming to your local chamber or young professionals group. Your young professionals group is ideally targeted because that's hitting that millennial segment who have higher levels of financial stress and financial trauma. And you can also deliver this content in the form of webinars that allow people to access the information on their own time. Sometimes people are afraid to ask questions. They don't want to talk about emotionally triggering financial situations in front of strangers, in front of people they don't know. We even heard this firsthand from one of our millennials who said to us, "My parents didn't talk about finances, and I think that made me ashamed to ask questions." So this fear of asking questions in front of a group is easily avoided if they have content that they can access in their own time, like a webinar. As a banker, you can't prevent financial trauma 100% or remove all the stressors that are out there for your customers and their financial situations, but you can provide the right products, the education, and healthy financial conversation that helps your customers be more confident in their financial management and financial situation. And when they're doing better, you're going to do better as well. So thank you for watching. Don't be stressed. Go out there and help your customers. And if you're looking for more content about millennials and their concerns about money, you can watch more on our vlog on our website or check out our blog. It's lots of content there as well. Thanks so much and have a great day.